I'm about to tell you something that will make your banker furious. Something that contradicts everything you've been taught about financial safety. I'm Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner for over 50 years, worth $2.5 billion, and at 99 years old, I've watched this pattern destroy more wealth than every stock market crash combined. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. In 2026, the safest place for your money, cash, is actually a ticking time bomb. And if you don't act soon, you could lose half your purchasing power before you even realize what happened. Let me show you why. There's a type of robbery happening right now, but there are no masked criminals, no guns, no broken windows. Your money is being stolen while it sits safely in your bank account, and the theft is perfectly legal. Here's what I mean. Take a $100 bill from 1980, put it under your mattress, come back today, 44 years later. That same $100 is still there, right? Same bill, same serial number, same paper. But here's the problem. It only buys what $30 bought back then. 70% of its value vanished. Not stolen by a thief in the night, stolen by something far more insidious, the systematic destruction of currency value. This is the great illusion of cash. It feels safe because the number stays the same, but the number is meaningless. What matters is what that number can buy, and that purchasing power is evaporating faster than most people realize. Between 2020 and 2022, something unprecedented happened. The United States government printed more money than in the previous 240 years of American history, combined. Think about that. 2 centuries of monetary policy erased in 24 months. Where did all that money go? Not to you, not to your savings account. It flowed through the financial system to those who understand how this game is played. Banks, institutions, the wealthy who already own assets. They used this flood of new money to buy real things, companies, real estate, commodities. By the time you felt it as higher prices at the grocery store and gas pump, they'd already protected themselves. This is what economists call the Cantillon Effect, named after an 18th century economist who figured out this rigged game 300 years ago. The people closest to the money printer benefit first. Everyone else pays the price later. Right now, 4 massive forces are converging in 2026. Each one alone would be concerning. Together, they create a perfect storm for anyone holding cash. Force number 1, America's $33 trillion debt monster. The interest payments alone now exceed $1 trillion per year. That's more than we spend on defense, just the interest. How do you pay interest on an unpayable debt? You print more money. Force number 2, 10,000 Americans turn 65 every single day for the next 15 years. Each one becomes eligible for Medicare and Social Security. These aren't optional expenses politicians can cut. They're guaranteed by law. The money has to come from somewhere, and that somewhere is the printing press. Force number 3, the new Cold War. Whether you call it competition with China or a global power struggle, the result is the same. Massive military and infrastructure spending that neither party will cut, regardless of who's in power. Force number 4, the banking crisis nobody's talking about. Hundreds of regional banks are sitting on billions in losses from bonds they bought when interest rates were low. When these losses crystallize, and they will, guess who pays for the bailout? You do, through more money printing. All roads lead to the same destination: more currency creation, more inflation, more destruction of your purchasing power. Let me tell you about the Martinez family and the Thompson family. Real people, real consequences. 1970, suburban Chicago. Both families had saved $50,000, a fortune back then. The Martinez family did what seemed prudent. They put it in a savings account earning 5% interest. Safe, secure, no risk. The Thompson family listened to their uncle, who understood economics. They split their money between stocks, real estate, and gold. It felt risky, volatile, dangerous. 10 years later, 1980 arrives. The Martinez family opens their bank statement. $81,000. They'd earned 62% over a decade. They felt smart, responsible, safe. Then they went to the grocery store and slowly realized something was terribly wrong. Their $81,000 bought less than their original $50,000 had bought a decade earlier, despite earning interest, despite being safe, despite doing everything right. They'd worked for 10 years, saved diligently, sacrificed, and became poorer. The Thompson family? $195,000. They didn't just preserve their wealth, they tripled it in real terms. Same starting point, same decade, opposite outcomes. One family understood that safety is an illusion. The other learned that lesson the hard way. If you think that's just one example, that couldn't happen today, let me take you to Germany, 1923. Respectable German citizens kept their savings in marks. The German mark had been stable for generations. It was backed by one of Europe's most advanced economies. Then, the government started printing money to pay war debts. At first, slowly, then faster, then frantically. Within months, people needed wheelbarrows full of cash to buy bread. Life savings evaporated, pensions became worthless, an entire middle class was destroyed. Not by bombs, not by invasion, by the invisible theft of currency debasement. Who survived? Those who owned real things. Factories, land, gold, commodities. They didn't just survive, they bought assets from desperate sellers at pennies on the dollar. I'm not predicting hyperinflation in America, but I am saying the mechanism is identical. Print money, destroy currency value. The only question is the speed. Let's make this personal. Let's talk about your money. Say you have $100,000 in savings. Maybe in a checking account, maybe in a high-yield savings account earning 4%. You feel responsible, prudent, safe. At 4% inflation, the official number, which understates reality, you're losing nothing, right? You're breaking even. Wrong. Real inflation, the one you actually experience, is running closer to 6 to 8%. Your groceries, your energy bills, your insurance, your rent or property taxes. That means you're losing $6,000 to $8,000 per year in purchasing power, not on paper, in reality. Over 5 years, $30,000 to $40,000 gone. But Charlie, you say, the stock market is risky. What if it crashes? Fair question. Let's do the math. Yes, markets crash. The average bear market drops 35% and lasts 14 months. Painful, scary, temporary. But over any 10-year period in American history, stocks have outpaced inflation by an average of 7% annually, even counting the crashes, even counting the Great Depression. Meanwhile, your cash is guaranteed to lose 6 to 8% per year to inflation. Not maybe, not possibly, guaranteed. You're choosing between a possible temporary loss and a certain permanent loss. Most people choose wrong because the certain loss is invisible. Here's where this gets truly devastating. You're 55 years old. You've saved $1 million for retirement. You're proud. You've done everything right. You're almost there. You decide to play it safe for the last 10 years. Keep it in cash and bonds. No more risk, no more volatility. 10 years pass. You retire at 65 with your $1 million. Same number, same balance. Except inflation averaged 6% during that decade. Your $1 million now buys what 600,000 bought when you started. You didn't lose in the market. You didn't make bad investments. You played it safe. And you lost 40% of your retirement. Now multiply this by millions of Americans making the same mistake right now. Or you're 35. You've scraped together $50,000, maybe for a house down payment, maybe for your kid's college fund. You keep it safe for 30 years until retirement. Even at just 4% inflation, a conservative estimate, that $50,000 will have the purchasing power of $15,000 in today's dollars. 70% of your money's value vaporized. But if you invest that same $50,000 in a diversified portfolio earning 8% annually, below the stock market's historical average, it becomes $400,000 in real purchasing power. The difference between these two choices isn't comfort versus luxury, it's poverty versus security. Stop thinking in terms of dollars. Start thinking in terms of purchasing power. Your goal isn't to accumulate more dollars. Your goal is to accumulate more ability to buy goods and services in the future. Here's how you protect yourself. Split your wealth into 5 buckets. Bucket 1, 40 to 50% in companies that own real assets or have pricing power. Not speculation, not hot tech stocks. Companies that make things people need and can raise prices when inflation hits. Energy, utilities, consumer staples with brand power. Bucket 2, 20 to 30% in real estate that generates income. Not speculation, not flipping houses. REITs that own apartments, warehouses, cell towers. Things that produce cash flow and rise with inflation. Bucket 3, 10 to 15% in commodities and precious metals, the things civilization needs regardless of how much money gets printed. Energy, agricultural products, gold and silver as insurance. Bucket 4, 5 to 10% in inflation-protected bonds. Not regular bonds, those are death in an inflationary environment. Treasury inflation-protected securities that adjust with inflation. Bucket 5, 10 to 15% in cash. Yes, cash, but only for 2 purposes: emergencies and opportunities. When everyone panics and assets go on sale, you want dry powder. Notice what's missing from this list? The majority of your wealth sitting idle, earning nothing while inflation eats it alive. Don't do this all at once. That's panic. That's emotional. Take 6 months. Each month, move 1/6 of your idle cash into productive assets. This approach does 2 things. First, it reduces timing risk. You're not betting everything on one entry point. Second, it gives you time to learn and adjust as you go. Month 1, set up accounts. Choose your funds or investments. Start with 15% of your idle cash. Months 2 through 6, systematically move another 15% each month. By month 6, you're fully positioned. You didn't panic. You didn't try to time the market perfectly. You methodically protected your purchasing power. Trap number 1, paralysis by analysis, waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. Every day you wait, inflation is eating your wealth. Trap number 2, going all in on one asset class. Some people hear gold protects against inflation and put everything in gold. Don't be stupid. Diversification isn't about owning 50 stocks. It's about owning assets that respond differently to the same economic forces. Trap number 3, thinking you'll time the market. I'll wait for stocks to drop, then I'll invest. Meanwhile, inflation is guaranteed. The drop is speculation. You're choosing the certain loss, hoping to avoid the uncertain one. Trap number 4, ignoring taxes and costs. Every transaction has costs. Every gain has taxes. The theoretically best strategy can become the actual worst strategy after costs and taxes. Trap number 5, set it and forget it. You're not done once you invest. Markets move. Your portfolio drifts. Every 6 months, rebalance. Sell a little of what went up too much. Buy a little of what lagged. This forces you to sell high and buy low. Nobody knows the future, so prepare for multiple outcomes. Scenario 1, persistent moderate inflation, 4 to 6% annually. Most likely. A balanced portfolio handles this well. Scenario 2, high inflation, 7 to 10% annually. If fiscal or geopolitical pressures intensify, commodities and real assets become critical. Scenario 3, deflationary recession, least likely but possible. Cash and flexibility matter. This is why you keep 10 to 15% liquid. Scenario 4, stagflation, high inflation plus low growth, the nightmare of the 1970s. Assets that work regardless of economic growth. Utilities, REITs, precious metals save you. Your portfolio should work reasonably well in all 4 scenarios, not perfectly in any one, but acceptably in all of them. That's the difference between gambling and prudent risk management. Every financial decision is choosing which pain you prefer. Cash has pain, guaranteed erosion through inflation, silent, certain, permanent. Assets have pain, volatility, temporary losses, complexity, fees, taxes. You cannot avoid pain, you can only choose which kind. For most people with a time horizon beyond 3 years, the pain of inflation vastly exceeds the pain of volatility, but the inflation pain is invisible, so people choose it without realizing what they're doing. Markets fluctuate. Some years are terrible, some years are spectacular, but over time the trend is clear. Productive assets preserve and grow purchasing power. Cash does not. This isn't opinion, this is mathematical certainty backed by centuries of data. Here's what's really happening, what nobody wants to say out loud. Periods of massive money creation always result in wealth redistribution. Not through laws, not through taxes, through the invisible mechanism of inflation. Wealth flows from those who hold cash to those who own assets, from those who save in currency to those who save in things, from the financially unsophisticated to the financially educated. This transfer is already happening. The question is, which side are you on? In the next few years, this process accelerates. Those who understand position themselves accordingly. Those who cling to outdated concepts of safety, keeping cash in the bank, discover their safety was the greatest danger of all. We're at a turning point, a moment that comes once every few decades. Everything that made sense for the past 40 years, low inflation, falling interest rates, stable currency, is reversing. The strategies that worked for your parents' generation won't work for yours. The advice that made sense in 1990 is financial suicide in 2026. True security doesn't come from avoiding risk. It comes from understanding risk and managing it intelligently. The biggest risk in 2026 isn't that the stock market might drop 30%. That's temporary and recoverable. The biggest risk is keeping your wealth in cash while it's systematically destroyed. That's permanent and irreversible. This isn't prediction. This is mathematical certainty. When governments print money at unprecedented rates, currency loses value. When currency loses value, those holding currency lose wealth. The choice is yours, but understand, doing nothing is also a choice, and in 2026, it's the most expensive choice you can make. History is screaming this lesson at us. The question is, are you listening?